You're watching Hegarai TV, Rhode Island's public access channel.
My name is Sheikh Abu Hakim Abdullah, President Chairman of Al Masjid Sharia Allah, AMSA, a non-profit religious organization operating and functioning out of Rhode Island, a state in the United States. Excuse me. I want to speak to you about something here that I have run into in the last year here in Rhode Island, and in Brooklyn, New York also. But it wasn't as open as it is now, as it is in Rhode Island. It's something that we Muslims should look into, and especially the leadership should look into it. That's supposed to be the guardian over Muslims in their jamaats, and their, I just hate using that word, in their organizations. I have run into people that had serious problems. They had serious conditions, sicknesses. They suffer from mental disease. All different levels, all different kinds. And they were schizophrenic, they were depressions. There were so many different kinds of disease. I can't name them all. I'm not a mental doctor. But I do know about some of the diseases they have. Excuse me. Bismillah. And they're not aware of these diseases that they have. And it's breaking out all over. They got deep depressions. They got really split up among themselves, schizophrenic. They got all kind of bipolar things. I don't know what that means, some of it. I heard it, all of it. But other words, they need to see somebody about the condition they're in. And a lot of them don't know that they have these conditions. But they can be seen, these conditions. I feel that one of the things Muslims should do here in the world today, I don't know how to make that you can make that a rule and regulations of a masjid or an organization. You can do it the same rules and regulations that you have to have. You have to have rules and regulations here in Rhode Island or around the United States. To be an organization in the United States, you have to bylaws and stuff like that. So you can make rules and regulations as an organization, even though they're not Quranic rules and regulations. but they're rules and regulations like a health, underneath the health law of Islam. That's how you can make them. You can make it that if a brother joins up to be a member of a masjid, an active member of a masjid, not just coming there to pray, but active member of the masjid to help it grow and stuff like that, must take a physical examination. Must have a physical examination, brother or sister. A complete physical examination. Now, I know money's a problem, but the majority of people coming into Islam today have medical insurance. A lot of them get checks such as the SSI, senior citizen checks, disability checks, welfare checks. A lot of the women on welfare get what is called Medicaid and Medicare. And can have an examination and don't have to pay for it. So it's not that expensive. And if the imam set it up right, they can have doctors volunteering their services and have the work that they do paid for by Medicare and Medicaid. If the masjid puts together a visiting clinic thing, you have to speak to a doctor and find out how can we do this. But I feel like brothers should be examined because we're running into a time bomb thing here. A lot of them are time bombs getting ready to blow. Too many brothers have a sickness wherein they're ready to blow up. You had this guy that just killed several people not too long ago, where he shot up a bunch of people and was in Rhode Island, where he was in a hotel hearing things, and his room was talking, the wall was talking to him and everything. He had mental things that people were talking about him and all that. He's thinking about people going to kill him and all that kind of stuff. People going to rob him and all that kind of stuff. He had that nightmares with that. A lot of this is sickness. And we got to examine these sicknesses. And so I think that a lot of basic type tests by a psychiatrist, a psychologist, whatever one it is, put it together and have these people go through it, and the results hold and only told to the administrators of the organization or masjid that they belong to or trying to get to belong to. I think we should have all those tests done. I think we should have the tests sent into to a laboratory paid for by Medicare and Medicaid. Sent into the Board of Health, paid for again by the Medicare and Medicaid. Results only to be told to the to the person and the leadership of the organization they're trying to become a part of. For the organization will know what he's handling. And what this person is capable of doing to himself or to anybody else. Or do they carry a disease that can be detrimental to the whole group? See, because diseases can fly around in certain neighborhoods within a pack. Because you have Muslims that get married, have the sex, the 3-day sex with his wife, work out a little while, and then in a month or two, they getting divorced again because they just can't make it together. Which is the most hated thing about one of the most hated things by Allah is divorce. But they get divorced and they marry somebody else. And if they marry somebody else and they got AIDS or syphilis or something, that can travel to the group. They can be cooking for somebody or something and drop the sweat or part of their body into the soup. Well, I guess so. Or or be talking to somebody and the person they're talking to got open cut on his face and they slipped and they put their hand in his face. And their hand might have this disease on it. So this is what I believe should happen now today. I know a lot of you don't want to accept this. A lot of you don't even want to hear it. But we got to stop acting like we're some kind of kids, some children. We don't want to hear the truth. What's the name for that? What's the name for that disease? You don't want to hear the truth. Denial. You don't want to have a denial disease, to deny something. Denial. We have to go ahead and do this and do it right away. People's kids are going, there's a kid went overseas and from down in, I forget, another state down there, I forgot the name of the state, but that's all right. People that know me know I forget all the names. But this boy left his home, his family didn't tell him where he was going, walked out of school, and went overseas. And the next time they seen him, he was on the newsreel, and he was laying down there dead. He got shot in the head. Young kid that was coerced into going overseas and fighting against the people in Kenya or lower Somalia that broke away from Somalia and became independent. Alhamdulillah. You see, so we must examine these people and see if they got weaknesses for different stuff. And let our families know about it, let the people saying they know about it, and protect each other. That's what this is all about. You must protect the flock. You must protect the flock. And this must be done openly at every so-called masjid. that Muslims come to. Now, you can't just ask every Muslim that walk into a masjid to sign a paper and take a test. You can ask them to take, we would like to have a full test. It's part of the rules of this masjid. You can say that. You can't order it. You can't. It's a health thing, and the law says to look out for the health thing. And this must be done. So this is what I'm saying. You know, I hope you can understand what I'm saying. It's very difficult for me to say this on the television, but I believe that every Muslim, man or woman, young teenagers, especially young teenagers, should have a full examination and testing done on each one of them. By the doctors that's associated with the masjid, or a doctor excuse me, subhanAllah, or a doctor. Well, let's say I leave that up to the group that gets started. I hope the imams are looking at this program. I hope the emirs are looking at this program. And any manager or organization is looking at this program that's on a leadership level and pick this idea up. This should be done right away. This is an urgent matter. We must do this right away. We must find out what is happening with our people. We must examine our people. We must make sure that we're not passing around AIDS among ourselves, or syphilis, or gonorrhea, or claps, or any of the venereal diseases. We must also know, are we marrying psychopaths to each other? And if you got the psychopaths in the organization. Now, I'm not trying to bring out the homosexuals. I'm not trying to do that. What I'm talking about is diseases. I'm not going to ask a doctor to go ahead and tell us who's a homosexual and who's not, and who's gay and who's not, who's a lesbian and all that kind of stuff. That's their business. That's them and the law. They have to deal with that. I don't see no place where we're supposed to search that out. You know. But it's still too many places in Islam that tells us to search out certain things. But we can make rules as an organization underneath the statute of the United States for organizations. Because in this country here, every organization must be registered under the statute of the United States, or the city or town which that organization belongs to. Must be registered. You can't just walk down the street and take a building, open it up, and call this an organization, and without having statute, having organizational papers, and be registered with the Secretary of State. You must register every organization. So I'm asking the brothers and sisters around the world, in all the countries around the world, where this website reaches, where they can reach this website. It's supposed to be 100 and something countries that can reach the website this comes on, such as Google, Yahoo, Facebook. And I'm trying to get it on a couple of other ones, Twitter and all that. But not as a website, but as a person, a trailer into these websites. So, I'm going to title this Physical Examination in a Masjid. You see, physical health examination in a masjid, in a masjid. Because that's what we need. We need to have that in our masjids. We need to have a lot of things in our masjids are not having. It's not part of the praying and the service to God, but it's part of the thing that you have to know what your people got today. Years ago, before all these things was known, they didn't have tests on them. They just had bad things happen, and they dig a hole in your brain and all that kind of stuff. That's what was going on back then. Bleed you and everything else they did back in them days. But this is what I'm trying to do with you. One, to have tests taken, blood tests, urine tests, to find out the condition of our people in the masjid or in the organization. And no marriage is performed unless there's a clearance or there's a sheet on the person of his or her health. Must come along with that marriage license. Must be introduced to the imam, and that this should be performed also before the marriage is done. That's what should be done. And that should be put into the laws of the organization. So I will go ahead and amend my laws to this organization with that in it. Make an amendment to the organization. It cost me about, I think it's $10 or something like that. That the organization is asking for that for each of its members that join our Master Sharia law in the future. From this day forward, anyone joining the masjid, our Master Sharia Allah Hamza, must perform a full head to toe mental and physical examination. The copies going to the person and the organization. With records kept on these people. That's what I will do soon. I'll do that as soon as I can. I'll get an amendment sheet from the secretary's office and make an amendment to our corporation papers here in Rhode Island. And I'm saying this to all the leaderships and other organizations. Please pick this up, do this, because it's very important today with people killing these people, killing each other, killing 9 and 10 people at a time. You know, a lot of this, it would be not happen if the person knew that they had some kind of disorder. Because a lot of people that have a disorder is also being picked up by organizations such as the liars that have been performing lies about what can happen in Islam from Quran and Hadith. That's not true. So we must become a sharper religious organization than what we used to be. So I advise you to pick this up and continue this. And I would look, when I put this on the web, I would look and see how many hits it get. Does it get the amount of hits it should get? And see what people are doing with it. If I get some hits for phone calls or letters sent to me, you know, I would like to hear from you. And any kind of assistance you can be to us in doing this, you know, please feel free to write to me and let me know. The address is, like I said, is after every program. The address is there to write to me. Also, I believe the fax number, the web number, I believe my newsletter, the mail, the email number is there. So I'm asking you to go ahead and put this down, begin to do this, get this started right away. And don't hold back, because this must be done. You know, it must be done. Every Muslim, once they become Muslim, their rights is in the hands of Allah, and should be acceptable to anything that is being done by the leaders in the masjid. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim, maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina alayhim ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Ameen. Sadaqallahul azim. Alhamdulillah.